Stop selling, okay? You want to close more jobs? Start serving. Different S word. How can I be of service to you?
So I want to create like webcoms, but I want them to also like come to me for brand strategy.
There we
or
go.
comms
Now, okay,
or-
see? Webcoms, and you want to do brand strategy. So how much would you charge to do webcoms?
1,200.
1,200, okay. 1,200, okay. It doesn't matter if it's totally accurate. We're just working with something here.
Okay.
And then if you were to do brand strategy, how much would you charge?
Like
Well,
2,000.
2,000, okay. So it's only an $800 difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. That's not a very big jump. That's very manageable. So people who come to you for a specific skill, right, and you want to ask them to consider you for other things, that's the move. That's a pivot move, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's something I teach. I don't even need to like whiteboard this. I just tell you how to do it, all right? Now, here's how it works. We have very little attention to give things. So when somebody finds out about you, they're going to say, work with Jody. She's great at doing web comms. So it's programmed in their mind, Jody web comms, Jody web comms. That's what they think. They don't think of you for this other thing, right? We form these mental shortcuts all the time. We do it, all of us do it. It's called heuristics. It's also a form of bias, right? We operate on too little information, all of us. It's a survival technique. Now, if you want to move from this to this, here's usually how you do the conversation, okay? You would say, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, for considering me for doing web comms. I really appreciate it. Typically, I charge about $1,200 to do that. But I want to ask you this question. What would that question be?
What about this?
What about this? What about this? What? Be specific. Use your language. I want to hear how you do it. Because I don't want to tell you how I do it. I want to help you do it the way you do it.
Would you be open to considering a reevaluation of what your current brand is and what we can maximize it to be?
Yeah, I would. What does that entail?
So we're going to look at your community base right now and see what your target audience is and creating value in what your brand gives.
And why would that benefit me?
Because you can cultivate a community that is not only there for the moment, but will build loyalty towards your brand and continue your your brand loyalty.
What does brand loyalty mean? What do you mean?
So a lot of times
Our customers are very loyal.
for the moment,
Okay.
but that's
Oh,
not.
you know something we don't?
Yeah, I do.
What do you know?
I know that your brand is successful right now, but how can you ensure success?
I think you're about to tell me, right?
Yes.
Well, tell me.
Well, I'm thinking right now that things change, climate changes, and then the way that we want to build your community is a way that we want people to know that your brand and think of your brand in a certain way and know that you are trusted and that your brand provides something that no other organization currently does or
Okay.
will do.
Have you done this? Have you had this conversation before?
No.
Oh, so you've never had this conversation?
No.
Okay, so this is just an imagined situation.
Yes.
Do you guys understand what she's doing? How's she doing right now in pitching this other thing? How's she doing? You guys give us an honest evaluation. Have you been in this situation before? If you were the client, would you buy? What are you thinking right now? Let's just have a conversation about that before I give you the answer on how to do this.
I feel like if I was the client, I would feel just a tad bit insulted.
Right,
Just based on the language. You're telling me that what I have already, like, basically isn't good enough or that it could be better. Not necessarily, I don't know. I feel like from a client perspective, because I've had this problem before, they're like really, really attached to their brand and like what they already have going. So being like, oh, what you have is okay, but I can make it like okay times 2.
Yeah.
That's kind of like stepping on their toes just a tiny bit.
I like the way you said it. What is your name? Jocelyn. All right, okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Woo. That was like real feedback right there.
That's
Thank you.
amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So you guys, did you hear that? I want you to sometimes take yourself out of your own shoes. Right?
Yeah.
The I'm so self-important shoes. And try to hear from the other side. So there's a couple things that you could have done here. So the first thing I'm going to say, what's the difference between amateurs and professionals? Sometimes they use the word expert, but what's the difference? Amateurs give advice. Experts diagnose. How much time did you spend diagnosing the problem?
0 time.
0. You made a lot of assumptions which might make me feel insulted. And you learn how to remember how to spell assume, right?
Yeah.
Let's just write it on the board so everybody knows what assume is. You make an ass out of you, just mostly you, and sometimes me. So let's not assume. So you notice when you ask me a question, what's the first thing that I do? I ask you more questions. Because a position that you're in, it's very hard to move away from that. As Jocelyn pointed out, you become attached. So for a new person who's clearly incentivized to sell me more stuff that I might not need, first of all, my guard is already up. Right? You're operating now in your own self-interest, even though you believe that you're going to help them. So what I would do is form all of your thinking in the form of questions. Okay. Now we want to diagnose the problem. And if you've watched this channel before, you've heard me do this 1,000 times. But I see a lot of new potential fans. I'm going to say it 1,001 times, okay? Let's talk about a mechanic. You bring your car in. Like, you need a new transmission. You're like, what do you mean? I just got here. No, you need it. But I have a broken headlight. It doesn't matter. How do you feel about that mechanic? You're out. Gone in 60 seconds. Nicolas Cage, right? You go to a doctor. I'm having some pain. We got to operate right now. You see how professionals work? Yeah. Professionals versus amateurs? What you're doing is, we just began a conversation about webcoms. You automatically assume I have cancer. And I'm going to tell you, because I just met you, what's wrong with your business. How does that sound to you?
It's awful.
It's awful. Why would you talk to me like that then? In what way do you work in the universe where you talk to people like that? You ever go into a Starbucks and you're like, you know what? This decor, it's just not working. And the way that you just handle this whole line, let's reorganize the store. I'm going to help you just move the furniture around because you need more business, because you're going to go out of business. That's the door, walk out of it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how it sounds. So what we should do is, we should try to see if there's a problem first. Is there a problem? So we ask questions to figure out what the problem is. Now you may have a clue as to what the problem is. So you do what doctors do. They generally ask a couple of questions to eliminate possibilities, right? Oh, it's not brain cancer. It's not a heart problem, right? It's not a muscular cardiovascular thing. It's not any of those things. So what is it? So let's ask questions. So let's rewind the tape. Hey, how's it going? I need some help with webcoms. I heard you do amazing webcoms.
Yeah, I really do. I have a lot of clients that were really happy with the work that I've done, and I'd be happy to work with you too. I also do brand strategy if that's what you're looking for. I have helped other clients with their work and would really think that partnering with me would be a great idea. I love what you're doing currently. Your community is really loving you. I've seen the success that you had in the past, and I'd love to see what's going on and see if I can help in any way.
You're new to this. You're new to this.
I'm very new.
Okay, so first of all, you're just pitching me right now. Do you know that? How do we feel when we're being pitched to, guys? Not good. We're being sold again. So here's the next thing, okay? I want you to stop selling. Stop selling, okay? You want to close more jobs? Start serving. Different S word. How can I be of service to you? You've asked me 0 questions. How can you diagnose if you haven't asked me any questions? Okay? Yeah. Start thinking about some questions you want to ask me. Remember, our goal is to figure out, is there a problem we can solve? Or is there a problem, period, to be solved? Think about that, okay? Yeah. We'll try it. Take 3. Take 3, all right? Here we go again. Rewind the tape. Hey, I heard you do amazing webcoms. Talk to me. Jody?
I do. I have a lot of work that I've done in the past that I am very proud of, and our clients have been really liking it too.